Mastering the Studio application. How to create a layered frames layout. Studio allows you to create everything from simple to highly detailed nesting layouts. One advanced option is a layered frame layout. This is where you place frames on top of others to build up the desired nest. When you're working with a specific print size and your layout uses separate elements, like in this example, layering becomes really handy. In this video, we'll cover two methods: a simple way to layer a few frames, and then a more detailed layout, including how to add crop marks to your final job when white space is present. Method 1. A simple layered nesting layout. In this example, we will create a very simple layered nest, as shown here. First, we will drag and drop an asset into the layout area. Resize and position the asset as required. Drag and drop another asset into the layout area. This new frame will automatically be placed above the previous one in the layering order. As you can see, I am moving the asset around and it sits on top of the other. The order of the frames can be adjusted via the frame menu, bring to front, forward, or send to back and backward options. Simply drag and drop any other assets and place them as required for your nest. Alternatively, use blank frames to build your layout, then add any assets later, as shown here. To move the nest easily without disrupting the frame positioning, select the layout via the frame menu, select All option, or you can select each frame with the left mouse click and holding Control or Command. Then with all frames selected, choose the Group option. Once grouped, the layout will move freely around the area without any accidental frame adjustments. If you move the selected frames without grouping them first, you may accidentally shift some if your mouse goes too far into the edges of the Studio layout area. Ungroup the nest when done if you will be reusing the layout with new content. When ready, select the Studio menu, Print option, to send the job for processing. Method 2. An advanced layered nesting layout. In this example, we will create an advanced layout, with a base frame layer used to print crop marks around the entire job. The first step is to create the base frame, which will have the crop marks at the corners. To create the frame, select the Edit menu, Create Color Box option. A square color-filled frame will appear in the layout area. You will also see the style of the frame is set to marker, here in the frame panel. Clicking on the triple dot menu will open the options for the color box. Line thickness does not apply for the color box, so can be ignored. Adjust the color to white using the sliders, and select Save. Even though this is set to white, it won't print as white. It will be treated as the paper itself. Resize the frame as required. For this example, this will be 18 by 20 inches. Enable the crop marks checkbox. All other frames will now be created and placed on top of this base frame. As I will be placing a frame exactly on top of this one, I will move it to sit at 0, 0, flush against the top and left edge here. Create another blank frame via Edit menu, Create Frame, or via the icon in the toolbar. Resize and position the frame as required, on top of the base frame. Repeat for any frames required for your layout. I will add a few extra frames for the images and position them accordingly. Drag and drop any assets into the empty frames to create the layout, or drag assets into the layout area for placement. To move the nest easily without disrupting the frame positioning, select the layout via the frame menu, select All option. Or you can select each frame with the left mouse click and holding Control or Command. Then with all frames selected, choose the Group option. Once grouped, the layout will move freely around the area without any accidental frame adjustments. If you move the selected frames without grouping them first, you may accidentally shift some if your mouse goes too far into the edges of the studio layout area. Ungroup the nest when done if you will be reusing the layout with new content. When you are ready, send the job for processing via the Studio menu, Print option. Looking at the print preview of this example, you can see the crop marks are visible around the entire nested job. Up next, how to save and load templates.